Hi, this is Sammy Haji Bayit. I'm going to teach you how to put on Tallit and Tefillin according to the Sephardic custom. Most of this is going to be very similar to the Ashkenazi custom. However, there are different traditions and customs, small customs here and there, but the main bulk of it is pretty much the same. So without further ado, we're going to start with our Tallit. First thing we should always do before we put on our Tallit is to quickly check the first couple of knots. Make sure there are no tears on any of the corner. You want to make sure that all the strings are connected through the corner hole and there's no noticeable or notable major tears in the strings. Once you've done that, then you can make sure that the first couple of knots are good, at least. If there are any problems, you could contact your local community rabbi or a friend who might be interested in this sort of thing, and they could easily help, or a Judaica store. Okay, once you have that, you're going to stand up, find the top of the Tallit. The top of the Tallit usually has a collar like this on it, right? The reason being so that we always keep the head to the head. We never wear our Tallit upside down. It's a little bit disrespectful to do so. But anyways, you hold the Tallit up, and if you're wearing a tzitzit katan under your shirt, keep it in mind now when you say the bracha. The bracha is Baruch Ata Adonai Elohenu Melech Haolam Asher Kiddeshanu B'mitzvotav V'tzivanu Lehit'atef Betzitzit. There are many different customs on what to do first, but one of the most common ones is to first and foremost wrap the Tallit over your shoulders, around your left shoulder like this, just for a couple of seconds. This signifies that we're ready to focus on our tefillah. Okay? Then you can just put it on your shoulders like this and keep two of the sets of strings in front and two of the sets of fringes in the back. We have our Tallit on. So when it comes to Tefillin, first thing we have to do is, first make sure you're putting it on your weaker hand. So I'm a righty, this is my right hand, so I'm going to put the Tefillin on my left hand. Okay? So usually when you open your Tefillin bag, on the left side, you'll find the Tefillin Shel Yad. Tefillin Shel Yad also says Shel Yad on it, but you can also, a big giveaway is that there's only one strap. Okay? First thing we should do, take it out of the case nicely, safely. You want to do it over a table. If this falls, chas v'shalom, it's not good. So we're going to take it nice and slow out of a table. Never hold it like this. It'll open by itself. Hold it like this safely. Good. Take it out of the box. Some of them have a protective case on it. You don't need it on. First thing we should do when we take it out of the case, inspect it quickly. Make sure there are no major dents on the corners. You want to make sure that the tefillin has been kept in good condition. If you see some cracking, a little bit of cracking is normal because these are made out of leather. Very tough leather. And the second thing you want to do is you want to make sure that the strap is black. Okay, sometimes people don't change their strap for many, many years, and you're going to see that they start turning brown. Now this particular strap was painted black as well. It was dyed black on the bottom, so that solves that problem. But again, you want to make sure that they're in overall good shape, the straps, not losing their color, because they have to be black. And also you want to make sure that they're not too thin. If these have been stretched out, especially here at the knot, at the slip, if it's been stretched out for so many years, the tefillin can shrink and get skinnier. You want to make sure that it's not too skinny. There's a guideline for how skinny it can be before it's not kosher anymore. So if you do see a problem, definitely reach out to your community rabbi. Almost every community that I know of has somebody in charge of tefillin. Okay, so like we said, we put it on our weaker arm. the slip goes on the outside of our body, and this yud-shaped knot goes on the inside towards our heart. Okay? Now that I have it on, you have to make sure it's in the right spot. If the tefillin is not in the right spot, the box is not in the right spot, then it's most likely where it's like you're not even wearing one. Some people go their entire lives going to minyan, putting on tefillin every day, but if they're not putting in the right spot, they're not keeping the mitzvah the way it's explained by our chachamim. So, the way to figure out where to put it, you want it to be two things. You want it to be on the lower half of your bicep. So if this is my bicep, you don't want it on the upper half, you want it on the lower half of your bicep. And it needs to be on the inside of your body, not on the outside of your bicep, like that. This is not kosher, this is kosher. This is kosher, this is not kosher. You want it to be lower half of the bicep, inside, so that it points to your heart, like that. And once you find the spot, you hold it on there like that, and you make a bracha. When you say the bracha, keep in mind that this bracha is covering both your shel yad and your shel rosh, which we're going to do immediately after. That means that we can't talk, because if we talk, we're interrupting the bracha. We're interrupting the action that we're going to do after the bracha. So, before we tighten it fully, we say, Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam, Asher Kiddeshanu B'mitzvotav V'tzivanu Lehaniach Tefillin. And for the purposes of this video, just to explain how to do it, I'm going to be speaking. So now I tightened it. You do one outward wrap to keep it in place. That should keep it in place for the rest of the day. No problem. Not too tight, because then you'll lose circulation, but you get used to it. Okay. Some people like to do an extra wrap up here to help keep it in place. As far as I know, that's okay, but Rav Avadia Yosef is seen in pictures going straight to the forearm like this. Okay, he does not do an extra wrap, and he does 8 wraps. Just like that. 8 wraps. Okay, and then we hold it in our hand, like so. And because I spoke, I am going to make another bracha for my shel rosh. The key with the shel rosh, same concept. It has to be in the right spot, otherwise it might be as if you're not wearing one at all. So, what is the right spot? Everybody has a childhood hairline. My hairline is receding a little bit, but I know that my childhood hairline is right about there. It's easy to tell. Even if someone's bald, you can usually tell where their childhood hairline was. Okay, just by the way their skin is. All right. So you want the tefillin to be behind your childhood hairline, but not so far back that it's behind your soft spot as a baby. Babies have a soft spot on their head. You want it to be in between the childhood hairline and the soft spot. Many people wear their tefillin like this. They might not be getting credit for wearing tefillin. We have to be very careful where we put on the tefillin, and a lot of times that means that it needs to be tightened. There are many videos online on how to tighten a tefillin knot. Now that I spoke, I'm going to make a bracha on the head tefillin. These 2 straps go in front of the body like this. And you say, Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam, Asher Kiddeshanu B'mitzvotav V'tzivanu Al Mitzvat Tefillin. Good. Very important to make sure that there is nothing under your straps. Your straps should be touching your head. They should be facing the right way, so that if you have brown leather on the bottom side, that it's not sticking out. Okay? And again, the box of the tefillin is in between my original hairline and my childhood soft spot. Just like that. This is the perfect spot for a tefillin. And I'm going to turn around, but the knot on the back of my head shouldn't be so low that it's beneath the bone. Like that. Okay. Now that we did the head, we're going to finish off the hand. This is probably one of the more important parts of the hand tefillin. A lot of people, they even say that if you don't have a long enough tefillin, you should only wrap it once or twice around here and just finish your finger. Wrap around your finger. That where the box is and your finger are most important. But anyways, we wrap 3 times around our middle finger, once in the middle knuckle and twice on the bottom knuckle, and we say something for each wrap. Ve'erastich li leolam, ve'erastich li betzedek uvmishpat uvchesed uvrachamim, ve'erastich li be'emunah ve'yada'at et Adonai. And after we wrapped it around our finger, we pull it back down, like so. And we wrap the excess around our hand. There are different traditions for this. I think all are accepted, but one common tradition would be to make a shin, the letter shin, like so, and then wrap the excess around the shin like that. Different people do it different ways. Some people only wrap it twice around the hand like that, and then wrap the excess. And I've seen people do it only once like this and wrap the excess around like that. Okay? For my purposes, I do a shin like so. Wrap the excess, and when you are finished, you can just slip the excess here in your hand to keep it steady. And that's how we put on our tefillin. Now it's time to take off the tefillin. So we go in the exact order that we put it on. We start by taking off our hand. Open up the hand. Very easy to do. Just like that. Okay. Now we go into the head. Shel Rosh. That comes off like so. Like I said, be very careful with this. Always best to try and hold it with 2 hands like this. But you don't want to drop these. Chas v'shalom. So now, the head tefillin case looks like this. Rule of thumb, when wrapping your tefillin, it's okay to wrap it however you see fit, but the best way to wrap it would be the letters on the tefillin, like this is a Tallit. This knot right here is a yud. This, you want to make sure that the letters are not covered by anything. So a lot of people have the immediate inclination to put the knot down like that. I think it's always better to put it on top like this. And the head is a little bit harder to wrap, but you'll figure this out with time, to wrap it in a way that it won't open itself. Okay, so you flap it under like that, and just like that, I have a perfectly wrapped rosh. Now, try to put it on the right side of your bag, not for any reason other than you want to remember exactly where it is, because you don't want to take it out first by accident. You always want to take out the shel yad first in the mornings. Okay. Now that we got the yad off, there's really only one way it can fit into the box. So if you do mess this up, you'll know right away. And again, like I said, a lot of people have the tradition or just the common practice to wrap it on both sides. So they'll wrap once on the left, and then like a tank, they'll wrap it again on the side, and then you have a wrap like that. But like I said, we want to try and keep the knots here that are shaped like letters of God, one of God's names. We want to keep them uncovered. So the better way to wrap your tefillin would be to wrap it all on one side, like this. You've got to apply a little bit of tightness to it to make sure that it doesn't unwind itself so easily. But don't pull it too tight, because you will shorten the life of the straps, and that will cost money to replace. And just like that, we put it, like I said, on the left side of our bag, of our tefillin case. and then we are done. And with the tallit, we will fold it just according to the fold lines. Don't have to say any bracha here. You just want to put it away in a respectful fashion so that it lasts longer and that you can use it nicely the next day. Okay, thank you for watching.